welcome to another session of the Dáil. Today we'll be doing legislation. Fortunately, Eamon McGrath was unable to attend again today. Dáil is currently electing a presiding officer. We have Dylan Hello 20 presenting his speech. I apologise. I believe this is Dylan Hello 20 trying to become LCC again after their failed attempts yesterday. And that is the end of her speech. The Dáil will now debate on this. We already have Oscar Clarke, the leader of the Social Democrats, raising a debate. Oh, there's been a point of order raised. Mr. Sunday is saying that the deputy cannot call Dylan Hello 20 a liar or accuse them of lying. There appears to be a bit of confusion here, and they have rephrased what they have said about the deputy. He says they need to elect someone with dignity, instead of someone who broke the standing order several times yesterday, according to Oscar Clark. I would like to take this chance to let everybody know that we will be having speaking alerts on who is speaking and such. Unfortunately, I did start work on them today, however was unable to finish them, but I will get them finished as soon as possible, and I may even be able to show you a preview of one of them for the T-Shock. A member has been asked to withdraw what they said. I believe this could be wrong, but I believe they were calling Oscar racist, which they were asked to withdraw. Dylan Hello 20 is rising in response to what Oscar Clark has said. Bit of arguing from the Social Democratic bench here. She argued that she does have an understanding of the standing orders and has apparently not broken them before. Has no standing orders to follow, therefore she does not have to. Therefore she has not broken any, according to her. Again, anything I paraphrase here, I apologise if wrong. And I will try keep it true to what the member has said. Finishing off the speech here saying she has the knowledge and the experience. Or he. Again, I'm very confused from yesterday as to whether this is a he or she. We have another member, Minister for Business. I believe they're voting on a motion raised, but a point of order has been called. And a member has stood up out of turn. I believe an order may be called here. But it appears she is being asked to withdraw. She withdraws her statement, the Taoiseach here. And now moving on to voting in the Dáil. After this, I'd just like to say we will be moving to the Synod to, I apologise if I butcher any names, we'll be moving to the upper house in the Oireachtas to see other legislation debated on, and I believe they'll be electing their Seen Cumhaill. Again, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. However, we do have voting here. I believe a vote tale will be called. We see tars and yes or yeses from the largest opposition. However, government and Social Democrats voting no. However, we are doing a vote tally now. I'll just get this off my screen. Quite a few yeses, but there does appear from a first glance to be more no's. However, we will wait and see. Quite a bit of chaos that happens in these rooms. I'm sure they probably don't want me recording what goes in on there. But yes, like I said earlier, we will be showing, we'll hopefully get some currently speaking alerts just to say who's speaking. And I do have to say, I personally think they're very nice, but they were made by me, so I don't know how far you can take that. Do have a clerk here who has counted all the votes at this point, I believe. Now everyone was returning to the chamber. Again, this is on Dylan Hello 20's bid to become LCC. Kellen Cathcart with the results here. Or Cathcart. It's one thing I can't pronounce is Irish, and I cannot pronounce confusing using last names either. However, we do have results now 10-0 and 7 tar, so 10 no's and 7 yeses and 1 abstain for Dylan Hello 20 to become LCC. A point of order has been raised by Dylan Hello 20, but this is the second time she's been rejected as LCC, as the other vote occurred yesterday. Penalty Shock referred to Dylan Hello 20 as a transphobe. Taoiseach is being asked to withdraw. Wilberforce, previous leader of the Labour, behind them, I believe getting quite frustrated. However, the Taoiseach did withdraw. Now, I do believe they will be electing a presiding officer now, as they do not have an LCC. So yeah, the nomination for Dylan Hello 20 to become LCC has failed. Dylan Hello 20 has risen. Wilberfork has also risen, and Oscar has risen for a motion for the clerks to preside. The motion was apparently seconded, however, clerks cannot preside, as stated earlier. This was brung up by Sequotic, or however you pronounce that name. However, as far as I'm aware, I believe Dylan Hello 20 and Wilberfork will both be trying to become presiding officer. A motion for Maxi to preside has been seconded. However, it has been mentioned multiple times that the clerks are not allowed to preside. Yes, and they are saying that they will not be able to preside. Dylan Hello 20 is seconded to become presiding officer. Lots of chaos. Just to sum it up, Dylan Hello 20 and Wilberfork will potentially be batting out in a debate to become presiding officer for today's session. Are we under time pressure? Dylan Hello 20 is saying that she should be given a chance to preside. If she is able to succeed in this, she may be able to run for LCC and pass. Arguing it's just one session and it's the only one. She's the only volunteer so far. She asked for Dylan Hello 20 is asking for one more chance and see how it goes. Again, I apologise if I misgender anyone here. I am trying, but it's very, very confusing. Deputy Wilberfork is now giving his speech on becoming presiding officer. I would like to mention that Finnafall has full attendance today. Wilberfork states that it would be a huge honour for him to be elected as presiding officer, and says that he will be unbiased. And he finishes off his speech encouraging members to vote for him. They're voting once. I believe they'll be voting they'll be voting for either Dylan Hello 20 or Wilberfork, instead of doing a tar and nil for either party they support. I think tar is for or yes is for Dylan, and nil is for Wilberfork. 2 nils, but a lot of tars in the chamber. It may actually be that I believe a vote tally will be called. Like I said, it has. Everyone is now moving to vote. Voting on tar being Dylan Hello 20, nil being Wilberfork to act as presiding officer. Seems to be quite a few tars again, but also quite a few nils. Again, maybe a close one. We'll now be going back to the chamber and we will wait for everyone to return. Again, it is great to be greeted by all, it is great to be streaming. Honestly, an honour to be. Everyone is returning back though. The clerks are reading results at this point in time. And a point of order has been raised by Dylan Hello 20, which will be read out later. Dylan has received 7 votes. Currently waiting on the next count, which will be for Wilberforce, I believe. The vote, the exact vote is tagged. However, Wilberforce did win the vote according to the clerk. Now there is a point of order being read out by Dylan Hello 20. And he's already been kicked out of the chair as there is a point of order regarding the vote. There is some argument saying that whilst a majority of the chamber voice did say, did vote for Dylan Hello 20, she said that when everyone went to vote tell that it was actually flipped. I'm not sure whether this will be upheld. And a motion to redo the vote tell has been raised. Apologise for the silence there. Wilberforce is again back in the chair. Not sure what's happening with this. Okay, we are moving on to the first bill. I do not believe the schedule to the sessions are released for the public, so I do not know what comes first. However, next time I will check. And Dylan Ho 20 has raised another point of order saying that the presiding officer is illegal and he must take his oath. I believe this is the oath to, yes, for seeing comment usually takes or CC. There are multiple members standing up now. Two-Shot claiming that Finnafall is already causing disorder in the chamber. However, Wilberforce is trying to bring everything back under control. Whether it be successful, we'll see. He says this is ridiculous. and there is lots of demands to take the oath right now. Okay, he is ignoring the oath that he does apparently need to take. Dylan Hello 20 is already standing up trying to make him take the oath. Order has been called again. And Dylan Hello 20 is taking the chair. And they have been kicked. I believe this does count as a strike on their record, however I'm not entirely sure. Deputy Mr. Sunday has been called. I believe this is on his own bill. Not on a bill he asked for. Again, more confusion. Doesn't seem to be a very good day for the door here. However, I believe they will be getting on with it shortly. Anyway, let's hope, otherwise we will be here until 10 o'clock at this point. You see, it's that Deputy Dylan has been ejected from the session. This will count as a strike on that record. They're beginning this session off with an awful amount of votes being invalidated. The past few elections, I would assume. I will try and paraphrase to the best of my ability. He argues that no reason has been given by the Electoral Commission on why any of these have been disqualified. And states that this bill will shed light on said occurrences. And I would assume release these votes to individuals. I do believe earlier it was raised that this would be against the constitution of having a secret ballot. However, many are arguing that this wouldn't be a secret ballot, as anyone could see an invalidated vote and who it was for. I believe in the bill it would say who they were allowed to vote for. I will try and get the Trello up now, just to take a look. It hasn't been listed as business of the door, so unfortunately I cannot find the bill. Oscar did rise, I believe, to debate, but has been told to sit back down as they do not debate on the first reading. The second reading will now occur. This is where they will be able to actually debate on the bill. Leader of the opposition opening the debate. Actually, I may be looking at the wrong Trello. I'm just going to find it now. He argues that this bill is the foundation of democracy. It's clear there are very mixed images, but again, we cannot say for certain. I found the election integrity bill, the current bill we are talking about. He says it's time to bring democracy into the light and to vote for this bill. And a debate is being the Social Democrat leader Oscar is trying to argue against this. Is debating the bill. He says that this is a problem so many people face. But does not see the reason why the username needs to be sent to everyone. He argues a change is that they do not broadcast this and instead it's sent in private. Yeah, it's sent in private so that they can, if they wish to, release it publicly. The leader of the opposition is being called to again debate what Oscar has just said there. He argues that the sense of the bill is the desire to empower people to stand up for their rights, but argues there are cases where they cannot do this. Citing that they may not be in the server or an idea of how to file a case. He states about the section where parties can inquire about invalidated votes. He says that the deputy may propose an amendment. This is the best way he sees to handling the situation. He says there is no shaming towards it, and unless the people are, there will be none. No shame in having an invalidated vote, according to him. I believe that is what he's trying to say there. He finishes off his speech saying that he would rather his vote be counted than deal, even if he is shamed by people on Roblox politics. Now we have two people rising to try and debate this. This is the Taniste. Taniste? I apologise if I'm not pronouncing this right. And Oscar Clark as well trying to debate it, but Taniste gets priority, I do believe. Or at least in this case. Again, reiterating Oscar's concerns, saying that he is not sure whether we should be publicly naming individuals. He asked why can't a summary on why the vote was rejected. No leader of the opposition has been called to answer. However, I do unfortunately have to announce I will be unable to record for the CNAD today, but next week I can assure you it will be recorded. There's just some other things that I must do, and unfortunately that means I cannot record the CNAD today. Yeah, and I'd just like to remind everybody watching this is this is about the bill, the electoral integrity bill, to reveal the reason on why some votes were invalidated. He argues that even if it may become part of the public record, everyone's votes and why they're invalidated, it is a reasonable trade-off. To make sure there is transparency. If this bill does pass, there has been talks that if it does pass at all, it may get flagged by the president and instead be sent to the Supreme Court, I believe it is, to review it in case it may be unconstitutional. A lot of people are arguing that it is unconstitutional. However, the president, I believe, as far as I'm aware, has not stated that he will be sending it to the Supreme Court. However, his speech does end here. And he argues that doubt must be taken out of the question because everyone. Well, I do believe that he is trying to point out any users and clarify why they were obviously invalidated. Now, many people are uncomfortable with the usernames of people being invalidated coming out. Is something sentiment shared by most of the Dáil here. Oscar O'Sullivan, I believe, or Oscar Clark, and the tennis they both repeating. We are waiting for the voting to begin, I would assume, or the third reading. Again, we are just currently waiting. I'm not quite sure what the reason for the delay is, and now we move to the voting for the third reading. So I do believe this will be the vote in the Dáil on how they view the bill, on whether the bill should pass or not. Already seeing a lot of yeses from Fianna Fáil, the largest opposition of a social democratic member voting no, and the government, in a vast majority, also voting no. I believe a vote tale may be called. The leader of the Social Democrats abstaining from the vote here. But I do believe a vote tale will be called, so we just wait to see the verdict from Wilberforce, the current presiding officer. Must remind everybody he is just the presiding officer and not the CC or LCC. He's just the presiding officer for this session, and a vote tale has been called, so all deputies will now go into booths on which they wish to vote for. These are yeses for the bill. Do have a lot of Fianna Fáil members here. I'm not sure if more will be joining them, but this is also the nil. We do see a few, quite a lot of the government here. As you can see, they are all in pink. And the rest outside are all abstaining, and so this is 3 Social Democrats deciding to abstain from the vote. I do believe this will actually be a very close one for this bill. This is a very, very controversial bill to a lot of people. These concerns have been raised within the Dáil itself, especially about usernames being released to the public. I apologise again for butchering any names. I do not speak Irish, unfortunately. And I believe the vote, yes, it failed with 5 yeses and 7 noes. Again, it was a close one. There were 3 abstains. I don't believe they're recorded as they did not enter the room here. The members go to this room if they wish to abstain. The next bill is now being read by the clerks. So the previous bill, I'd just like to mention, the Electoral Integrity Bill, has been failed. I do notice a mistake. It was labelled as 2024, even though it's tabled on 2025. I'm not sure about you, but I do write down 2024 a lot more than I'd like to admit on some things. But yes, the next bill is now being announced. It's the treasonous offences. I apologise if that's wrong. And terrorism. So treasonous offences and terrorism. The Deputy Gamers Go Bing Bang is presenting this. I believe he is deputy leader for Labour. Oh, this is an amendment to the bill. He says this is one of the main manifesto pledges, and this amendment clears up and refines regulations concerning the treasonous offences and terrorism act. This is an amendment, again, as said by Gamers Go Bing Bang, to, in his words, make sure that to align, for clarity, I believe. Voting currently has not begun on it. It changes whether terrorist list is stored or terror, and changes the registration and deregistration of threats, and says it's a positive one which will help in the mission to keep Ireland safe. I believe that is the end of his speech there. And the final thing he says, as we promised the citizens at polls, we will continue to write similar legislation. A member of the government, I believe, is rising to debate this. However, the second reading has not been announced yet. So, right, we now move to the second reading, which is for debate. I don't fully understand why the member on the government bench has stood up. However, this may be to debate. The deputy is asked to rise again and start off the debate, I assume. I apologise, I was just getting the camera in the right position now. I'd just like to mention again, the synod will not be, well, the session will not be recorded for today. And just for today, next week, I can assure you, it will be recorded. I just have other things I must do. He starts off his speech saying the amendment will refine the process on establishing new regulations and threats in the country, saying it will keep us safe. He finishes saying that the amendment fixes key issues and bans threats from sitting in the chamber once more. And we do have 3 members rising to debate this, one from the government bench, which is quite surprising considering they are both from the government. This could cause some serious conflict in the future. But we do have Mr. Sunday, leader of the opposition, arguing against this bill. Again, this bill is the Treasonous Offences and Terrorism Act. begins his statement saying that is a nothing burger bill, saying that the amendment changes nothing. Fortunately, there were a few tags there. But I believe the general statement being said by Mr. Sunday here, leader of the opposition, is that the bill is very lackluster and does not really change anything. He argues that it is a bill proposed just to propose a bill, and there is nothing new in it. Finishes off the statement by reiterating what he said, that is a worse reword of the existing bill, and states how it's all that it is. Now Wilberforce has the options of choosing between the Minister for Business and Oscar O'Sullivan. I'm not sure which he is at this point, but they have chosen the Minister for Business. This is quite surprising considering that if they are debating against the bill, they may be arguing on behalf of Gamers Go Bing Bang. I'd again like to apologise for any of my pronunciations during the stream. Next week, on Friday, I will get them right. Hopefully. She is arguing in support of the bill. So this was not a arguing against it. Stating at the end that it starts with the foundations and the security of the nation, I would assume. The Social Democratic leader has now been called a Social Democrat leader. I keep doing that. Again, this is a debate on the. Hold on, let me just check the name again. It's very long. Treasonous offences and terrorism bill. He says that the bill isn't. The bill really isn't much. Oscar Clark, leader of the Social Democrats. But he argues there is no reason in legislating nothing. He says that one particular takeaway from the bill was changing investigation days from 3 to 2. And he says he appreciates the dedication, but there's no point in it. Again, according to Oscar Clark, or O'Sullivan. A motion to vote has been raised. And it has been seconded. And they are going to vote on the bill now. And the question is, it moves on to third reading, whether it will pass the Dáil or not. few tars here. Oh, we do have the Social Democrats, even though they were against this bill initially, arguing against it, have voted yes. However, Fianna Fáil are the only ones voting no here. And it has passed. The third reading, it has passed the second reading and is now going to third reading. It's asked if there is any debate, and gamers is raising. They are deciding to vote whether it will pass the duel or not. Apologise to get this off my screen. I also want to apologise for the mistake I made earlier. That was not voting on whether the bill would pass. It is very confusing sometimes. This was whether it moved to the third reading. Now it is the vote on the actual bill, and it has passed. Somewhat controversially, as there were quite a few nils, but the government did vote in a majority of tar. And now the question is, the chamber do now adjourn. It has been agreed by most members. I believe it will pass, and we have adjourned. Thank you for watching this stream. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you hopefully next week on a Friday. Again, we will not be recording the Shuned, I believe that's how it's pronounced, because of other duties I must attend to. However, next week I can almost promise you that the synod will be recorded. Anyway, thank you for watching the stream. It's been a pleasure, and good night.